I just go like this to Gundy.
Oh, hey.
You know, I'm nothing but nice to just about everybody. No, Gundy's a good guy.
Gundy was a mean teacher.
Gundy was a really nice guy.
I would ask him questions and he would literally say, I don't know, and not answer it.
I do that too.
Yeah, but at least you get you back to it. He just would go on with the lesson.
Oh, see, I just avoid questions.
Never
usually.
answer me.
So now we're going to start talking about combinations, and then eventually we'll start talking about what's called the binomial theorem. Now, binomial theorem is something you guys would have absolutely really loved when we dealt with polynomials because you wouldn't have to FOIL stuff out because it's a really, really nice formula for it. We'll deal with that probably, if not tomorrow, maybe Monday. But what I want to look at here is ways of when you have to pick things where order doesn't matter. And that's when you're dealing with what's called a combination. Combinations are when you're selecting objects at a time where the order doesn't matter. For example, if you're just shuffling and dealing cards, does the order matter if you're dealing cards? No. If you're playing poker, regular, normal, old-fashioned 5-card poker, what you're doing is you're just getting 5 cards. The order in which you get each card doesn't matter. So you look at distinguishable ways of doing things, and we do this by using what's called a combination. Combination is a selection of our amount of objects out of n to start with. So what I like to think of this is when we're doing combinations is when order does not matter. Let's think of, for example, playing cards. Over the course of the past few years, I have come to the realization, that most of you guys do not know what's in a deck of cards.
Including jokers or not including jokers?
Not regular.
Because you do.
In a deck of cards.
4 of each. There's an ace. A king. A queen.
In a deck of cards, if you look nicely, you guys can come and walk around. I'll be like your dealer. Like a dealer of cards. So, I just opened up the deck of cards, so that's why they're sorted out. That's a little creepy. So, in a deck of cards, you have 4 suits. Each suit contains 13 cards. Therefore, you have how many total? 52. So, you have what are called spades, diamonds, I hear they're forever, clubs, and hearts. Now, each suit, there's 4 of them. Each suit has 13 in all of them. There are 26 black and 26 red cards. Okay. So now what happens then, if I'm just looking at total possibilities here, if I'm going to take 52 cards and I'm going to deal out 5, does the order matter in which I deal out 5? No. The order doesn't matter when you shuffle it off, because all you're doing is shuffling. You're just putting them together. It's still 52 cards. The cards don't change. There's nothing up my sleeve. I'm not that angel. You see him with his card tricks? That guy's awesome.
Did you see the street magic guy that moves, that takes the face off the corner and stuff? It's
Did he blame?
yeah.
He's fruity.
It's not
Clowns. A friend of mine is scared of clowns. It's so fun. My sister-in-law's afraid of clowns. And emails her pictures of clowns when it's close to Halloween. I'm not good at shuffling.
That's something I can't.
I'll shuffle.
Is there a good thing? Go ahead.
No, I've heard of BS. So anyway,
It might be
so if I'm dealing out 5 cards, yeah. Did the order matter in which the 5 cards were drawn? No. So when I'm starting to think about distinguishable hands for 5-card poker, what you're looking at, you get 52 to start with, and you're going to choose 5. We basically have the same hand. Hold on, nothing. So the idea comes in then when you start looking. Pardon me, I'm going to write something down here. What happens then is if I want to look at distinguishable types of, or let's see, total number of poker hands, and I'm not talking about Texas Hold'em or anything like that, because that gets into whole other different things of how things get thrown out there. I think it's crazy. How many cards are there? 52, and how many are we choosing? So you get this formula. And that's the other button that's on your calculator. You have the NPR, and this is the NCR, where order doesn't matter. So if you're looking at this, the way the long form of that would have been n factorial over n minus r factorial, and I think it's times another r factorial. The calculator does all of this for you. So if you throw, who's got a calculator handy? Figure out what it is. How many distinguishable, making up words, distinguishable hands are there?
2, 5, 9, 8, 9, 6, 0.
So that means in a 5-card poker, if I'm just dealing out 5-card poker, you have 2, 5, what?
2, 5, 9, 8, 9, 6, 0.
Basically 2.6 million different combinations in hands. So when you start to think about, have you guys ever played poker before?
No idea.
I've wanted to learn that.
Okay. When you play poker, there are a couple of hands that are
Excuse me, wait, what class is this?
L2.
I'm just like,
We're talking about combinations.
oh, okay. I just heard, when you play poker.
Come here.
What?
Play blackjack?
No?
All right. So when you sit there in poker, the highest possible hand you can ever get is called a royal flush. A royal flush is ace, king, queen, jack, 10 of the same suit. Okay?
Has anyone
Oh
ever?
yeah.
I mean, I don't
You
know.
can get it. You can get it. It's nearly impossible to get. So if you think about it, out of these 2.6 million hands, how many combinations would there be of all the same suit in that order? 4. So you start thinking about out of this many million, there's only 4 of them that are a royal flush. Mel, give me the percentage there.
1.54 e to the
Oh, so it's like 0.00 what?
1.54.
Oh, 6 zeros?
Yeah.
So being able to just hand that out right off the bat, it's not going to happen. Okay, it's not going to happen. But then we can start to look about different distinguishable possible hands you can get, and we do all these little experiments here of looking at poker hands with 5-card draw, because there's so many different combinations that are there. I mean, we have 2.6 million of them to go through. We can figure out how many of them you'll be given a pair, how many will be given 3 of a kind, and we can do all that because it's all statistics. It's all built on these combinations of this stuff, how it works.
That's how I got built the full house.
That happens, and because a full house is more common than other things. Okay. The way that poker works is that you have high card is whatever the high. If you have nothing in your hand but like a 10, and that's the highest card, that's called high card. What beats a high card would be a pair. Beats a pair is 2 pair. Beats 2 pair, 3 of a kind. Beats 3 of a kind, full house. What beats a full house, 4 of a kind. And a
flush.
is it a flush?
A flush is less than a full house.
Flush is less than a full house,
So,
and then a straight is better than 4 of a kind.
When you say 4 straight, it goes
Yeah.
pair, 2 pair, 3 of a kind, straight, flush, full house. And then
Straight
4 of a kind.
4 of a kind, then straight
Straight
flush,
flush.
and then royal flush. Okay. So there's a lot of different hands that you can get, and when you guys have seen this whole Texas Hold'em thing, you know,
I've heard of it.
When you go to Buffalo Wild Wings.
When-
you play on
what happens?
But
I know I'm not really, here, flip yours over real quick. What you're doing here is that each person is given 3 cards. You're not showing them. You're playing against a common draw. Oh. So what you're doing in this game is that there are 5 common cards in the middle, and you have 2 holding. So you get to pick which 3 do you want to make a better hand. That's how that game works. And the regular rules of poker still apply. There's other parts where you flip in other cards over, but in general consensus, this is kind of like it's like the old-fashioned where you do 7 card. Yeah, you want those 2 and a 6, and I would just sit there and whatever. But I could also take these cards and really not get anywhere. So I'd say I gotta keep knocking you with your 2 pairs. So does that make sense? What we're talking about by combinations here? Order doesn't matter in how you go, and as we get into more of these card game things, I'll show you guys how these card games work in relation to how the numbers show you when not to wager. Ish. I don't know. Yeah. You never count your money. It's the time for the counting. Deal. All right. Let's go try some more of this.
It's a country song.
No, it's Kenny Rogers, isn't it?
It's
Kenny Rogers.
That
No.
makes sense to me.
It doesn't make sense.
I like art. I love this.
I have no idea. I don't know.
I was like, what does that mean?
This really does get more complicated than just shuffle a card and how many are possible here. What's going to happen is we're going to look at, we did our deck of cards,
Great turn.
we did our poker hand thingies.
What was that brand?
It's a thing I used to use. It doesn't work as nice.
Okay.
How many of these, all 5 cards, are of the same suit? So here's what we're looking at. When we start to do some of these combination problems, we're looking at multiple things occurring. In this case, we're still taking 52 choose 5. But of that grand total, how many of those are going to be the same suit? So what happens then is that we have to first of all pick a suit. How many suits are there? 4 of them. You need to pick how many of them? 1. You want to pick, you have 4 suits, pick 1. And then you multiply that to your combination line. So you start to figure out how many of them are there. So let's see here. Of how many of these hands are all 5 cards the same? So it's 4. What was it? 52. And it starts to get more and more complex as we go through. Excuse me. Man, weird. I spent so much time talking about poker today.
It was working.
I know, it's fun. You guys start to get the idea of more of this. How far am I going to get?
I think these are the most liked shows I've ever done.
Yeah.
You probably got a favorite card game?
Oh, sorry. I knew I did something wrong. Sorry. So I realized once I did, like, wait, if I'm doing 4 choose 1, why am I multiplying it times? It's going to be more than what we already started with. Sorry about that. So here's what happens. I misspoke. When you have you want to get 5 of a kind. First thing, and 5 of the same suit. We're going to pick, there are 4 suits to choose from. We pick 1. Of that suit now, how many cards are left? 13. How many of those do you want? 5. So that's going to be, pick a suit, multiply it by 13, and choose 5. And this is, you want 5 of that suit. how many cards of each suit are there? 13. So once you pick the suit, let's say I pick my suit, clubs.
That's it. And
Did you do that
right
with
color.
Sabrina's room, like, all came down with cards?
What's that?
Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
First
Last year.
Last year.
Last year.
Yeah, we did. Right about this time. And we went around and tried to say who could pick a card.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that. We'll do
Sabrina
it
had to,
again.
like, guess it.
We did that. Because last year also, Cullen Suter,
Yeah.
we were sitting around. All right, no, you're sitting where he sat last year. It must be a lucky seat. What's the card?
Card?
Like the full card thing. In,
Spade.
no.
Wrong.
Sam?
Five clubs.
No. I got it. Sure. No.
Four of hearts.
No.
Y'all just said the same
No.
Everybody gets right every.
Yeah, Cullen Suter. He did like first try. He was like, oh. I'm like, oh. So anyway, I don't do this anymore. All right, one more. Who else wants it?
I got this. I'm gonna want to code.
Eight diamonds.
No.
Oh, that was it 9?
9 of diamonds.
Is that me?
Yeah.
King of clubs.
No.
10 of diamonds.
I am going to say it is the.
Looks like you ate a lemon.
Smells like a 7 of hearts.
What?
Nine. I think it was a 9.
It's 9 of clubs. Oh, it ain't close. All right. What I want you guys to try and work on tonight, and we'll get more into this tomorrow.
Down.
I'm in a wager right now.
Huh?
We're kind of in a wager.
On 7/12,
I don't know age.
I feel like gambling right now.
good.
You're done. You're done with life.
I want you guys to do numbers 26 through 30.
So let's say 7-12.
Yeah. These are all card problems. Now, there's a couple in here where you have to think about.
I touched it.
What?
There's a big spider on my notebook. I touched it.
All right. Good luck.
Check the rhythm.
Now, when they say face cards are only kings, queens, and jacks because aces don't have faces.
See. Were there jokers in that deck?
No, you never play with the
What
jokers.
was Joker?
Are there 2 jokers?
Yes, most decks here have 2. Not one of those. Yes, ma'am.
What's the
Oh, I'm only gonna answer if you get this right.
4 diamonds of spades.
King of clubs.
Too hard, really.
Oh, you said clubs. He celebrated like you got it right. I was closer than you were.
Wait, can you please answer it though?
All right.
I'm scared.
This is gonna be great. I'm gonna do this for the rest of the school year.
6 of spades.
7.
I'm going
4 diamonds.
7 clubs.
6 spades.
Dang diamonds. It's because you're sitting next to him.
Diamonds.
What's your question?
What are the tests in?
Oh, I should have like.